Hello, hello, hello. It's once again the DM podcast. We're going to talk about some ball, Olympic ball a little bit, some redraft. We're doing two redrafts all in one because one draft wasn't that good. So once we're talking about it.
Mm-mm.
But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The last video did pretty well. Let's make this video do well. But of course, we got to start. YS, how's everything going?
Every day above ground is a good one.
Of course, as long as we're above ground, then we're good. The Olympics are here, right? So most of the things we know when we talk about ball, a lot of it's happening in the Olympics. The quarterfinals is in a couple days, so we can chat about that. But even then, have you seen any Olympics, like any of the swimming, track and field, anything like that?
I was watching some of the running, actually, some of the track, actually, about running, some of the tracks, like the long distance,
Yeah.
seen 100 meter, you know what I mean? But long distance, well, 300 meter, not too long, but yeah. I was watching some of the women's, actually. It was kind of dope still.
I saw the women's one too because I was there yesterday. I didn't watch the men's. Mind you, I want to watch the men's, but I know that the man who complained about like why do NBA players say it's the world
Oh,
title, only
Miles
Olympic
and
people.
Lyles,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lyles, he won. It looks like he won like it was like legit a nose. Like the man won by through his nose, which is
Oh, I just seen the qualifying, and he came in second. I
yeah,
didn't know
and
it was going to
in
be
the
the
actual one he
Jamaican man
won.
still, oblique
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, he won, and it was like legit from his nose because all man's feet were on like the same area to me. It's just his head is a
Yeah.
little bit out there than everyone's else, which
That
like
technique. It's that Olympic technique.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
good. And then one thing I saw like, and I think the Olympics should change this. You know, if you do a false start, if you do a false start for like a relay, they allow you. Like if it's a long run or if you're a part of like certain categories, you do a false start, they'll allow you one chance, one chance. But if you're 100 meter and you do a false start, you're eliminated.
Off the rip.
Yeah, and there was
Well,
a
they gave you a shot for some reason too. And I mean,
for 100 meter they don't give you. So a guy from Great Britain, he did it. I'm thinking, yo, imagine what you. It's not like basketball or soccer or whatever. This is like 100 meter. You got to compete amongst a bunch of people a bunch of times
around the world qualify to get there. Yeah. It's not
just to go there and they're like, ah, yeah, you false started, like
being
go
that's tough.
home. That's tough.
I can't lie, that's tough still. That would hurt me. That would break my heart still. Because this is like I'm not gonna get the shot in another 4 years.
That's the thing. Like you don't get another shot. This is it. This is the only one. Yeah, I'm pissed because like the working hard is they. I think they should change something. Like give them. Honestly, personally, I think give them unlimited because thing happens. But if you want to make it like yeah,
Maybe
one shot
one. Just
at
one.
least. But yeah, the ball has been really exciting. We've now we're at the final eight. We'll talk about kind of each one. It's all on August 6th, which is the Tuesday. We have Germany versus Greece at 5 a.m., which is a hella early. Serbia versus Australia, which is 8:30 a.m. Canada versus France, which is 12 p.m. And Brazil versus United States, which is 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, they got them early games up in Paris time, Paris time zone. That's all it is.
And I think because they know the best team, the most American talent is the ones in not America, like NBA talent is that the 12 and 3 o'clock one. So they put them there. So because I'm imagine if Canada's at 5 a.m., imagine I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch this game.
Yeah.
It sucks. I would wake up to watch the game. Like it's a quarterfinals. Team Canada hasn't done this, so that'd be pretty fun. Um, so we can go to real quick. We'll kind of dive into them. Team USA has been dominating,
Yeah. Huh.
right? Which we already knew what was going to
Huh.
happen,
Yeah.
right? Kevin Durant's coming off the bench, just being that easy money sniper. He really is. He's being a guy that we both know who Kevin Durant is. There's no shock. There's no shock to what Kevin Durant's doing. And then LeBron's being LeBron. Steph has not been shooting well. He has not been shooting well, but still Steph Curry.
How I look at it is it really doesn't matter in the Olympics because the US feels they're gonna win gold.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're shooting well, I'm shooting well. I'm playing
Right.
well, you're playing well. it doesn't matter because if Steph's not going to be shooting well, then Ant-Man's going to be shooting well, and whoever's on Halliburton, and if Tatum gets playing time, he'll be shooting well, or LeBron will be shooting well, or like they just got so much weapons. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter.
It looks like they because Drew Holiday is the one who's been getting less minutes, and then Jason Tatum is getting more. He started the last game, right? You can tell they're like, okay, let's not diss Jason Tatum. And then Drew Holiday is a vet,
You shouldn't. You
right? Like Drew
shouldn't.
Holiday's a vet. Like he could Drew Holiday doesn't care. He's 33, 34 now. He signed a 4-year contract to play with Boston. In his mind, he's probably thinking like, I'm Gucci. I'm just glad to be on the team. Like, I'm happy I was on the team the year
Which
before.
is true. Which is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so he probably has no like legit rush to want to be playing beer minutes and things like that. So I think it's fine to me. But Jason Tatum's not starting there. He's been okay. He really hasn't. Embiid's been okay. But when the France fans boo him,
I
he
was seeing that on some clips. I'm like, oh, this is funny.
he's been doing his thing when the France fans are
This
booing him,
is funny still, yeah.
right? And so they're facing Brazil, which is Bruno Caboclo, who's like
He's actually getting PT. He's actually playing.
he's their best player, like bar none, and he's like 38 and 15. I think his last game he had 38 points, 16 rebounds. Bruno's been
What?
nice. Bruno's been nice.
Bruno Caboclo,
He's
the
been
Mr.
nice.
Shy guy.
He's been nice. He's been nice.
Shy
He's
guy.
playing like the five for them. Because he's bigger now, right? He's stronger. He's
He was
like
getting more size when he was in Memphis for a little bit, like the
right,
last 10 in the league, right? I
right.
remember, but
He has size, so he can block shots. He can still shoot the three pretty well. He can score the basket.
what in my
He's done
hair?
well. He's done well.
Bruno.
Bruno's he's been a guy. They're gonna get slaughtered by the States, which most teams would get slaughtered by the States. Unless you're a team that's been playing together for a while, like the Germany squad or the Canadian, not really, but like Serbia kind of did okay with them. But you have to be a squad that really knows each other to beat United States. But yeah, so most likely USA is gonna win that one. But I'm very curious to see how Bruno plays because my thought process, if you're an international player, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're an international player going against USA, you want to show out.
Yeah.
You want to get that opportunity of someone watching you and being like, we got a 15th roster spot open, a 14th roster spot open, or we have a camp battle for the 15th roster spot.
That's facts. You
Let's
want
call this man over.
100. 100. You want
Right?
to showcase Bruno, 38, 15, or 16. Bruno.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's still young.
I want to say he's 30 now. Like, I
Right?
want
He
to
has
say,
to be.
because the whole Raptors tenor was, this was like, I remember him in Toronto, I want to say 2016, 15.
Yeah, it's recent. It's
So it's 8 years. I want to say 8 years.
like a
Eight, 9
year
years.
before year before he got traded, a year before Kawhi, I think.
He was a year before. It wasn't that far, huh?
Wasn't
Yeah, it
that
wasn't
far.
that far.
See, he's 28.
Shit, he's not even 30.
Yeah, he's 20. He'll turn 29 in September.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 6'9". It says he's 225. Yeah, he got drafted in 2014. So
Wow.
yeah, he's with the Raptors since till 2018. Yeah, I think he's this guy won an America's MVP. He was a Euro Cup second team. Like I know his since he went international, he was playing really well, like really well.
That's crazy. Bruno.
Bruno, man, I, I think we all root for him because we're like, he was the prodigy. He was Messiah's first like, I promise you guys,
Yeah, he was the first. Yeah, yeah.
like I promise this guy will be good. I promise, guys. But then,
Let us down.
yeah, but it's one of those things like the team got too good, and he didn't catch up with the team being good. Because he was on the team since 2018. That means this guy like saw Norm come, saw
Yep.
Fred and
Yep.
Pascal, OG come, and they all just leap some. So, that's the first game. We
28.
don't gotta predict that game. It's a slaughter for the United States. The next game that we can talk about is Germany and Greece, which Germany was like the second best team, seeding wise, scoring wise, all that stuff in the whole Olympics, led by Dennis Schroeder, the
Shout out to Dennis.
Franz and Mo. Uh, they have a sharpshooter. I know you haven't getting a chance to. They have a sharpshooter. His name is Ost, bro.
Oops. Okay.
When that man touches the ball and no one's around him, this is prime Steph, prime Clay shit.
Serious.
Like I'll say prime Clay. Like, and he can play defense.
There's some height too. Does he have like
I think
6?
so. I think he's like 6. I want to say 6'4", but now I'll probably say 6'8". But he can. The man can score the ball. He's 28. He's 6'3", so he's not 6'3". But the man is lights out. Let me see. He was in the Euro League. Bruno, he shot 40% shooting through. And this is like Euro League.
40% is lights out. Like that is, you have to guard me on every time I catch the ball from behind the arc. Like there's real talk.
He's good, and Franz is good. I think it's because it's the pride of playing for your country. But that's how like mans just play better. Like mans just play better. For some reason, their shots are better. These guys don't play a lot of defense in the NBA, especially European mans. But out here, all these mans can like, I don't know how they can strap, but I think it's because of the physicality. You can play more physical.
It's true. You get away with more. You get away with NBA's celebrity calls, especially in the regular season. Playoffs, not so much, right?
Right, right. These European mans probably in a playoff scenario would be nasty because they're like, I can play to your chest and things like that. And then Greece has Giannis, who played. He had one good game, and the game he had well. Remember, I was telling you when Thanasis is around him, the man he's different. And when he was playing with and Thanasis came back, whew, the man was.
Oh, so he was injured or something because he
He's
wasn't.
still injured now. Yeah, he's still injured now. He can't play, but at that presence, it's like an extra like juice, like it's an extra goal for that guy.
Thanasis, huh? True. It's your broski.
Yeah, so
for real, bro. Holy.
I would expect Germany to win. More talent. Daniel Tice is on that team. Like I said, Mo Wagner's on the
he's
team.
Nice. He's a defender too.
Right, right. So they're a good squad. I think they're actually missing a man as well, but I don't know which man.
So it's really Giannis and TA on Greece that we really know as NBA players on that squad.
See, they have guys who Nick Kalathis. I think he played a little bit in NBA.
I heard that name before.
Yeah, he played a little bit. He's a bald man, but he's good. But he's also older now. He's 35. He's not that same guy that he.
Costa Kufis on any of these squads?
Who?
Just asking.
Who?
Costa Kufis, remember?
No, I think he's Croatian or something like that.
Okay, they're not. No. Okay.
But a guy that I wonder if you remember his name. I remember him because of Boogie Cousins. Kostas Papagiannis something. There's a guy. Is it Georges? This guy's a tall guy. There's a guy who got drafted to the Timberwolves, not Timberwolves, the Kings. I think it's him. Yeah, he got drafted to the Kings, and Boogie was cheesed. That got drafted.
And now where is he?
He's playing Europe. He's 7'2".
Shoot.
He's 7'2". He's a tall guy. But I know he was pissed because he's like, yo, give me a guard. Give me another wing. Like, this is when Boogie was like a guy. Like, give me someone else. And they drafted this guy. Who's also a center. I just don't think it made no sense. But I expect Germany to win because, this one be tough, but Germany's just better. They have Isaac Bonga as well, who doesn't really get a lot of minutes. Like, I always think to myself, you know what team's good? When there's some NBA guys, and even they don't get touched.
That's yeah, which is true.
Like Isaac Bunga doesn't get a lot of minutes on this team. He doesn't at all. Yeah, but I expect Germany to win that. They're the better squad. And the winner of that will face either Toronto or France, and we'll get to Toronto and France. Then you got Serbia, Australia, which I would say has a lot more NBA talent on both squads.
Definitely,
Serbia
definitely.
has Nikola Jovic, and then it has Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah, from the Hawks, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the young boy. He can play. He can play.
man, he
I'm
can
talking
play.
NBA. I'm talking NBA.
He can play, man.
Like, you
He's a man most
gotta
teams
watch
like.
that guy. He's got a little heater on him.
Oh
You
my
gotta watch
gosh,
him.
man. Most teams would love that guy on their squad.
Man, and he's so fundamental. It's like he's not doing any extra stuff. He's just, let me get to my spot. Two dribble pull, tween pull, pass, makes the right cuts. Like, you don't hear about him doing any dumb shit in the media. Like, this is such a guy that could be on a championship team that could be like a fourth, just a fourth. Like,
Yeah,
he's not going, he's not going, he's not going, you're opening the corner. You know what I mean? Like,
and like you said, he can go on a heater. Like the man can give you 15 easily. He can go. He's a player. And then you have the number one guy, top three players in the world, Nikola Jokic. So that's a squad. You have Jokic, Bogdanovic, and the thing is the Nikola Jovic, the one who plays for Miami Heat.
yeah, that's the guy.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't get a lot of minutes on the squad.
No, I don't think so either. Even though I haven't seen really anything, but
Yeah, like I don't
yeah,
think there's other guys that get more time than him. Which once again, an NBA guy. He's the young boy though, but
I
they're
think it's his
like
third season in the league or second, I want to say.
he's going into his third. It would be
Okay.
right, and then he's the young boy. And you're still saying to yourself, like, young boy, we got still all these European men that are just better. So that's a good team. A lot of NBA guys are on this squad. Is Australian national team, which when I look at the names, there's a lot of NBA guys on this team.
They got Mills probably. They got Patty. They got
Yeah,
Wemby.
we have Patty. It says Delvedova, but Delvedova's not playing. I
He's
know it.
not playing, yeah.
Joe Ingles, of course.
Ingles, Simmons supposed to be on the squad, but he's not.
Yeah, they don't want Simmons. Man, I think this team was so good that they said no to what's his name?
Epsom?
No,
Who?
Thibault.
Oh yeah, the high ball. Is
They said
Epsom
no
on the
to
squad by the
Thibault.
way?
Exum's on the team,
Okay.
and he's been playing okay on the team still.
Epsom is decent, even though he looks to me, and I was watching him in the West Finals, right? He looks to me a little heavy.
He
I
does.
don't-
Even when I was watching, the thing is, he's playing better now, but like
Yeah,
he
he
looks
is.
he looks like obviously all these guys are athletic, but he's not cut. I think that's what throws it off. He's not
That's really
cut.
what's going on. Because I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of having like a LA Fitness kind of body, like
Yeah, yeah,
gym LA Fitness. Like I'm
yeah.
hooping, but I'm enjoying my food too.
He's not cut at all. Dope Reef, he's like
Oh,
he's Australian, but he'll appear more South Sudanish,
okay.
and he played for the Portland Trailblazers this past season, and this was more near the end of the season, and he played well. So I'm pretty sure he'll be on their like camp squad and
Okay.
do their
Because
thing. But he's not like
listen,
known, but he'll get there.
no one this year, trust me, no one. Scoop didn't have a good breakout year at all. But he's poor, he's nice regardless. But,
Josh Green
oh
is on
yeah,
the
yeah.
squad.
Mr. Maverick.
Yeah, yeah. Is he still? Did he not get traded? He got traded, right?
Not traded recently. Oh yeah, yeah. You know how these players go. Let me get to the West Finals, East Finals, let me get a bag.
Yeah, and then
And didn't really
we have Dyson Daniels who also got traded, and like I like Dyson Daniels because
Dyson Daniels.
he's young. He can play. His defense is actually
Dyson
phenomenal.
Daniels is actually nice. That's some light skinned one of Pels, right?
Yeah,
He
he got
is
traded to
actually nice.
I think he's
He's
gonna. I
nice.
think he's going to Brooklyn now.
He's going to Brooklyn.
I think he's with the Atlanta Hawks now. He got traded to Atlanta Hawks.
Oh shoot! So
Oh yeah,
definitely
for
gonna be
the DeJounte trade.
that was
Yeah, he's good.
um,
And mind you, he's still young. He's
he's
only
like 23. I want to more
21.
Dyson Daniels. He's 21. He's younger.
Yeah, he's 21. And then of course there's Josh Giddey. You can't forget about him.
Shout out to Mr. Sexual Assault, Joe.
legit. And he's like shooting like fucking 35-40% at the three right now on this. When
Is it
man
because
put
the
that,
line's a foot closer? Is that why? Is the
I
line a
may
foot
because when
closer?
man puts that like that country logo, man's go crazy. I mentioned this guy late, but Jock Landell, who I know was on Phoenix, when he was playing, when they were playing against Canada, this guy was bodying man. He was getting rebounds and shooting like shots. He was like their best player at one point during that game.
Jock Landell. No, I don't know that guy, but shoot.
Yeah, he's a white guy, just big.
Australia really does have a squad.
They have a
Like
squad
it's,
still.
it's
Yeah,
legit.
yeah, they have some names.
They can beat the Pistons easily. The squad's beating the Pistons.
Probably. But the thing is, Patty Mills is older now, right? If this is a younger Patty Mills, I'd be like, this squad is a way dangerous squad, but they play tough.
He's still got a clip. Patty Mills
Yeah.
still remember. Patty Mills shoots, I think, 38% for his career from three.
And that's just Australian man that playing in the States. When I was watching the game, they have a guy named Nick Kay. He played really well
Nick Kay.
for them. He's a little bit of older man, but all these men, what Australia has, they have like we've been playing together for years. They're real like we've legit been playing together. We know each other, type
Yeah.
like so.
And then France is the next squad. Is Tony Parker mentoring any of these guys in France? Is he on the
Well,
bench?
Tony's the one who brought up Victor.
Like brought up say less.
Yeah,
So he's
because
touching his brother Pause, touching his brother Oscar.
yeah,
With Oscar then too.
yeah, he put him all on. Like Tony Parker is his mentor. That's why a lot of people, when they think certain things are rigged, the man played for Tony's French team,
Come
and
on.
then he goes to the Spurs. It's out of all those
This is a whole nother pod if we're gonna get into it.
conspiracy shit.
It can really get deep when it comes
Yeah.
to this because I didn't even know all that. And
So that's Australia's team against Serbia. Though they have Jokic, I'm gonna pick Australia. I think
come on. Come
they're
on.
too deep. But of course, Jokic can have a 40-point game and change the whole. Jokic is Jokic though.
Jokic is Jokic, but Australia, they got
Squad.
guys.
Squad. Then of
Yeah.
course the final game being the game that we care about more is France and Canada, which is 12 p.m. on Tuesday. So definitely gonna be late for work because I gotta watch that game.
12 p.m. Tuesday. Yeah, I'm gonna be late too.
Like it's gonna be a good game. So
I'm gonna
and it sucks
12
because
is
I kind of want to see Canada dominate a team the way the States do, but they don't
that's
have.
actually a good game, like
That's a
12,
good game. That's a good game.
and at the time is not bad, but it's not great. Like it's
Not
good
great.
enough to catch it, but you're sacrificing. I hear you.
I almost wish they had the 8:30 game.
No, it's
8:30 a.m. It's like almost. It's like okay, I may miss a first quarter, but I'm up by like 9, whatever.
it's true, which is true, which is true.
So France, of course, have a few guys, Batum,
Oh yeah,
but it's an older Batum. But Batum is intelligent as shit. So he's when we talk about guys in the Y or on LA Fitness, this is the guys that are not moving a lot, but somehow give you 12 points.
yeah, and give you 5 assists, a steal, a block, few boards.
And
But
barely
Tupa's needed a high IQ guy. He's like a Boris Dia.
legit.
He's
Who also played for fucking France.
yeah.
Nando De Colo, who only played in like the league for a little bit, but the Raptors somehow had his bird rights for like 12 straight years. I don't know how, but they always had his bird rights. The Raptors were paying him every single year because in case he ever wanted to come back, he
Yeah.
had to be on the Raptors. So they were paying him every year. It's
I
weird.
didn't know that. Over a decade. Wow. Shout out.
Evan Fournier, who I don't think gets as much minutes on the squad as
Which
maybe
is crazy.
he
Because he
would
still
thought.
can ball.
He
He
could.
still can ball.
There's I don't know how to say his name properly, but his last name is Yobusile. I'm pronouncing it horribly. I know he played for Boston a little bit. Bilal Coulibaly, who I don't care for because he dissed Pascal, so I don't care.
Oh,
He's a
shit,
young,
is Pascal?
he dissed Pascal. He said Pascal's the easiest player to guard. Pascal put 40 on him in the regular season, so and he's like a young guy. So for him to say Pascal's the easiest player to guard, like, I can't wait for Pascal to face him again to put another 40.
Pascal put a 40 on you?
You're saying the man's easy. Come on, man. Get out of here.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Don't
Like,
do
first of
this.
all, get a resume first. Like get a resume. And then when they called him, he did try to call it back and be like, no, I just meant out of everyone in the league, I can guard his game the best. But
I
whatever.
might give you 40, you can't guard a none.
Like why are we talking?
You
Rudy
can't even
Gobert, of
guard his
course, is on the
brother, fam. Holy shit.
yeah, no, it's easy. It's weird.
Man gave you 40. Holy shit.
Doesn't make sense. Rudy Gobert, of course, is on the squad. Frankie Nikita is on the squad.
Oh, shout out to Frankie.
And of course, the man, Victor Wembanyama is on the squad.
The generational talent. Holy.
We already know who's on Canada's squad. Now, my thing is, because Rudy starts and so does Vic. Do you put Dort on Vic? Dylan Brooks on Vic? Like, what are you doing on Vic? Like, he's a cheat code. He's too big.
You got to make adjustments in this starting lineup.
You
There's
think
no
so?
way you're gonna go with your regular ass lineup with Dylan Brooks at the four, RJ at the four, whoever the fuck at the four that's 6'5" or 6'6", against Victor, who's a whole close to foot taller,
Yeah.
with over a foot reach on you. There's no chance. I don't care if you have more weight than him. There's no chance. He's you serious?
But they have no
This
wings
is
to
not just
guard
a
him.
center. This is not just a four that plays in the paint where you can like, okay, we can just sag in the paint. This guy can shoot threes and pass and dribble and he can do a sham god.
And Canada doesn't have I think Germany beat them, but Germany has length. They have a bunch of guys with length,
I've seen Jeremy.
right? And Canada doesn't have length. They have guard play.
Yeah, they're all 6'5", minus Dwight Powell and Kelly.
Yeah. But then who do you have guarding him?
You have to put Dwight Powell in the game. You have to rinse Dwight Powell. And, like you have to have two bigs.
I was thinking, because I know it may not, because sometimes you're the better team, so Canada should win. You have the best player in Shea, but Vic is. But I'm thinking besides Vic, who's really trying to kill you? No one's really killing you on that France squad, so you don't want to go crazy. But then if you have Vic and Rudy, you're already not a good rebounding team, so you have to make it work. Where I almost agree with you is like
Remember, Victor can really get guys open shots because you're gonna if you have DB on him and he's gonna get sexed in the paint on the perimeter,
well,
right?
if it was Dort, Vic is not like he can't post Dort.
He can't post Dort, but he can get to a spot and
Shoot
get the
over him.
ball and just not even fade away, just turn,
Shoot.
have the ball at his head, bing,
Yeah.
right? So it the thing is, and even him on defense, and I'm sorry to interrupt,
No, no.
Victor on defense with Gobert, it stops our penetration game, right? Because you're just dribbling in the paint to dribble back out. Like you're not really putting up any shots on those two. So it's like it's a matchup thing. Like Canada's better, but it's definitely a matchup game. And this is where it comes down to coaching.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you don't want to go crazy on and do too much changes. But I agree, like Shea's best attributes that he can go into the lane, right? Here you need your three-point shot to be like amazing. Like you need to be amazing. So then you can try to shoot more threes than them and get Victor away from the basket.
Exactly.
Somehow get Rudy in a mismatch. Like that's your best. That's ultimately your best bet. But France hasn't been that great this whole thing, and they haven't been great. But the future of France is really good. And like pause, but the future of France is long. If Alex, if Alex Sarr becomes something, that man is 6'10". If Ricochet, the one who went number one, is like 6'9", 6'10". Like they're length. And if Koulibaly's somebody, they may just need to get a freaking point guard and then they're good. They're Gucci. And they have the size, right? So their length can really disturb people. But I do believe Canada is better. It shouldn't be that like Germany beat them by like I think 10. Like I hope there's not a close game. I'm really hoping it's not a close game because they really beat them by. Let me just double check that game. They beat them by 14,
True.
right? Like, and Germany was comfortably winning for most of the game. France kind of had a comeback in the fourth quarter, but other than that, like Germany was up 48. They were up by 24 points at one point in Germany. So, and hopefully Canada's better than Germany. So, but yeah, it's looking good. Canada's on the not on the they're on the opposite side of the United States, which makes it better. So the only time we ever get to face United States would be in the finals.
Beautiful. That's the showdown game that we all want to see.
Everyone wants to see that game.
Straight
It's,
up.
two most NBA talented rosters. So it's weird. Exactly. I think everyone wants to see that
Yeah,
one.
two rosters with the most, yeah, NBA, yeah, of course.
But Canada has they had the hardest they had the hardest face
They have the
road.
hardest road. Yeah, the
Yeah,
States road is easy. It's crazy. You have the most loaded squad, and you have
even the
States
division
road.
was easier. The States division was way easier. Canada
Okay.
still had to go through Greece, right, to get where they are. You know, they had to still beat good teams to kind of get here. So I don't know. I'm hoping for good luck for Canada. I still think Canada should win. You still have Shea. You still have RJ's been fucking. RJ's been the best player. Everyone's saying it's Shea, but RJ's actually been the best player. And watching the games, RJ, man, I believe in so much versions of RJ. So
I hope this gives some momentum into next season.
I hope so too.
That's all.
I hope he becomes more aggressive.
Yeah.
And because like you can be aggressive and not be ISO oriented. The Knicks are too ISO oriented. Like you get the ball, dribble till it's 20 seconds to go. I don't care, and do your thing. Toronto, it's a lot about ball movement. And if you have the ball last, you somehow have a mismatch, attack
It's true. It's
or
true.
shoot the three. So
New York is way different. Like they got a bunch of their homies on the squad, so even if they don't, certain guys don't get the ball. Like, yo, what the fuck, B? You're not giving me the ball. Like they can chat to each other after the game and not take it too personal and then
right.
adjust, right? As opposed to RJ, there, it's like you guys met because you're on the squad, so it's different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
That's true. And Canada's bench is better. So when like Rudy or Thing are out, that's when Nikhil and them should all be playing better. And like the thing that's crazy about Team Canada this whole time, their best player has been, I think, RJ, but then it's Shea, right? Shea's right after. Their like third best player has been Dylan Brooks. Then it's been Dort has been pretty good. Nikhil Alexander Walker has been good.
Dort is he's underrated in general.
Who?
Dort.
Dort, right?
Dort is underrated
Nemhard.
in
I
general as a player, as a basketball player. He
Very
is
much so. I agree.
the things he
Nemhard has
does.
been really good. Nemhard's probably been like their third best player. So
No,
like
he's just
all these
playing.
guys have been really good. What guy? Birch had some minutes that he was good in. Kelly Olynyk,
Birch, huh?
Kelly Olynyk hasn't really done as much. I think he's more needed for this round because you're gonna match their size for France and
We
even
know what
get
to
to
get from
Germany.
Olynyk in general. We know we're gonna get like a steady Freddie. I don't even take Freddie's name, but a steady Freddie guy,
Right.
consistent, makes the right plays, right reads, high IQ. Like we know we're gonna get from Olynyk. Takes the right shots, makes right passes. We know we're gonna get.
Now, what guy did I not name? Which I think
You
is crazy.
you did not name. I didn't think I heard Dwight Powell.
He's been good. He's been good. But there's
He's
one
been good.
special guy that I haven't named yet
Who did I
because he hasn't
miss?
been good at all.
Really? Wow.
RJ, Shea,
DB. You said Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks, Dort, Nemhard, Birch had some minutes, been good. Olynyk has been okay, but not really great.
Oh, this is bad. Kelly, the DW.
Who's the who when we thought of Team Canada, you're just stumping. You know him, of course. You're stumping a little,
I don't know
but
why I'm stumping.
well, who is Team Canada is our this is our best squad. Our number one guy was Shea. Who's our number two guy?
Our number two guy was really who was it? It was like RJ. Am I missing something? Number two, huh?
You're
I'm missing
missing, and
something.
once I tell you, you're gonna go crazy. I don't even want to tell you because I know you'll know.
Don't even tell me who was the number two. I didn't want to pull up none. The number two guy. The number two guy
On
was
Team Canada. See, it's crazy because I haven't said his name, and he hasn't played well enough. But he was supposed to be our starter, but he's not starting.
I don't know. I'm stumped actually. I'm stumped
You
right
know what I'm
now.
gonna tell you?
I don't know if I'm running through draft names from 97, 98 in my head too. I don't know.
Jamal Murray.
Why am I stupid? Why am I stupid?
The thing is, he hasn't played well enough to truly talk about. He really
Why
hasn't,
am I stupid? I should know. Like you called out all the mans. I'm like, ah man, who am I missing? I'm there, RJ, because RJ's been playing so well. I'm like, okay, then.
right? Jamal Murray, he's coming off the bench and he just think about it. It was supposed to be Jamal Murray, Shea. They're supposed to be the guards, just killing it. Da 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 da. But Jamal Murray, he's
Shit,
coming from injury. He's a little bit tired from like just 2 long seasons, and he just hasn't been great. And it's like
I can't believe
Canada has, well, they went 3-0, and now you want to see them do their thing here. And Jamal Murray has not been good at all. So I was thinking to myself, imagine if we can get freaking playoff Jamal Murray,
wishing
because playoff Jamal Murray will make that United States Canada game very interesting,
crazy,
right?
crazy.
America should win based off depth, and I agree with that. But Jamal Murray, playoff Jamal Murray, playing with Shea, the way Shea's playing, the way RJ's playing, Dylan Brooks and Dort being defensive guys that they are. I always say if Team Canada had a Bam Adebayo type center, no, we said a Miles Turner type center, just a Miles Turner type center, this team would be so much better.
Miles
So much
Turner
better.
is that
I
guy.
need I need one of these players who like it was years ago, Samuel Dallenberg. The one who played for the 76ers back in the day,
Yeah, I
he
remember. I remember.
he randomly was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play for Team Canada," and he played for Team Canada, and he was like their best player, so to speak, at one point. And him and Leo Rounds at the time, who was the coach, they beefed. They beefed heavy. That guy, he hated that guy.
Really?
Yeah, they beefed heavy. So he ended up like play for one time and then didn't play again. But I almost wish, I think about it all the time. Even like, and be just like, okay, I'm American. Like I just want a center to be like, I don't have a country to claim. I
Yeah.
went to Canada for for a year. I liked it. I would like to be Canadian. Like I just need that.
Yeah.
I need that good luck. I'm telling you, I need that good luck.
Yeah. That's funny still. Yeah,
Right? Like if see, Lithuania, JV is good. If Lithuania wasn't a good team,
yeah.
how could JV could be like my son was born in Canada?
Which is true. Which
I would
is
like to be a part of like this team. Like Fred VanVleet. Heck, you will never be on Team USA. You just won't.
you won't. You won't.
You're in Canada for a minute. Why not just say what's up?
Yeah, it's just true. Which is true.
Like your kids were born like his son and I think his third kid were also born in there, right? So
You'll
I
get
always,
love here. You'll get love here for it. You'll get love
you know what I'm
here.
saying? I always think like, why can't someone just kind of claim it? Just claim that you know what's up, right? So I don't know. Zach Edey hopefully gets a little better. It can help out, but
Yeah.
and that's all we really. I think, and also I always feel like we don't have Andrew Wiggins this whole time because of the whole Golden State Warriors thing, which I do think we would be a much more dominating team with
Um,
Andrew Wiggins.
um,
He's no matter what anyone says, he's a good defender. He's still a pretty good wing player. And if your starting unit was, Jamal can still come off the bench, but Shea, Dylan, uh, Andrew Wiggins, Barrett, and like Dwight Powell, that's pretty good.
yeah, more size, which is what we need.
Right. He's more size.
More
He's a guy
length.
that you would put on Victor. Mind you, Victor's 7'3", 7'4". He you can't guard him,
You
right?
can't.
But at least Wiggins would.
Smash my. Oh my god! Like me as a coach, I'd be just like, holy shit! Like team defense, guys. Team defense.
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. But that was our Olympic preview. I didn't know we were gonna that's my. I did not think we're preview so much, but it seems like a lot's gonna come out of all things. Now let's get to our drafts. We're gonna do the 97 and 98 NBA draft. We'll
Give me
do it
one.
both together because one draft is a little bit better than the other, not even a little bit. And looking at the names, one draft is a lot better.
Trust me.
And that's the 98 draft is way better than the 97 draft.
Yeah.
Way better. But we'll quickly talk about the 97 draft. The number one overall pick was Timothy Duncan.
Shout out to T, man. Shout out to Tim, TD. Let's get it.
Keith Van Horn was the number two pick, who I think a lot of people thought was going to be like nice.
A lot of people thought he was gonna be that stretch four guy type that could get it done. He was okay. Don't get it twisted. He was okay. He was on the cover of I think NBA Live, old 2000 or something like that.
He's probably one of those people that I didn't know. Like, you know, people say, "Oh, I didn't know this was your game." I didn't know his game was like this. Do you know his NBA stats?
Heath is decent, man. He was averaging 16 a game for his career.
That's not bad. The thing is, the word "that's not bad" sounds disingenuous. 16 points a game is really fucking good.
Yeah, in the NBA, yes.
It's good.
Yes.
7 rebounds.
Let me see his threes. He was shooting from a career 36%. Not amazing, but yeah, he had a 21-point season. He had a 19 season his first year as a rookie. But that year,
Because
I
these
think
stats are like
Tim Duncan won it that year.
these stats are like either second best player if your number one guy's Giannis numbers, or like third best player if you're on like a team of three.
Hmm.
That's not bad. And his rebounds are much better than I would have thought. Much better than I thought. Chauncey Billups, who, you know, when I first started really paying attention to ball, I didn't know Chauncey was a third overall pick.
Chauncey was that guy. Just his first couple years in the league, he was trying to get, you know,
He's one of those like just take your time, and then
yeah,
you see how good someone becomes. He had a stint with the Raptors, but
Celtics, I believe too.
and just imagine like if his growth, so everything. Sometimes you don't end up being a player until you go to another squad. But if he could have became that player with a Vince Carter, just imagine that what could have happened.
Vince for the real point guard. And by the way, I think Alvin Williams was drafted in, I believe, 9-7 too. I think second round, I believe. I need to double check that.
You're correct, Alvin Williams. Yeah,
Was he
shout out to
42 or
Alvin
something?
Williams. Oh man, I didn't know this guy was drafted in 97.
Who?
I have to make a quick adjustment because I
Who?
really like this.
Alvin?
No, I'll mention him when we do our redraft,
Okay, okay, good, good. Say
but I
less.
actually like this player a lot.
I hope I don't have to change, but I feel like my 10 is I feel like it's there. Like it's organized from it's to me it's there. It's there.
Makes sense. And then of course, Antonio Daniels, who's right now he's like the Pelicans lead analyst or something like that. Tim Thomas or Tim Thomas,
He was
he was
okay.
okay.
He was okay.
And of course Tracy McGrady.
Shout out T Mac in the ninth spot. Shout him out. Let's get it.
T Mac is like, you know, a lot of
High school. Ninth.
people don't there's always gonna be certain players in every generation that people won't talk about as much. Like I think we have guys like DeMar, in some sense, Paul George will be like wings that we may not talk about in the future, but you know they were that guy at the time. I think Tracy McGrady in like 15 years, people may not talk about him as much, but he was a guy.
He was a guy. Injuries.
Shout out to Jock Vaughn, the coach.
I think Jacques Vaughn was drafted in one of those years too, by the way.
Mark Jackson. No, not that Mark Jackson.
Not that, not that. Don't get it.
I'm like, who's this Mark Jackson? A guy named Sham God, but it's not the Sham God that like that I think of. I don't think.
Is it a Shamgar, OG Shamgar?
I think it's OG like because it says God Sham God. I don't know what his real name is. But it could be the original Sham God.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Because
Which
remember, Ray for Austin was drafted, I think, like the 98 draft. So
yeah,
was
yeah.
time.
Steven Jackson.
Yep. He was second round. Yeah.
Their second round was pretty good. One of my favorite Toronto Raptor players of all time. A guy that like I don't know, I love that guy. When he's on the squad, I always thought good things. To me, like a complete player, Anthony Parker.
I know he was 9'7". Yeah, it's like 22nd pick or some shit, right?
Yeah, because he didn't really play until he went to the Raptors. Like
Yeah.
he was in Europe the whole time. He was a European MVP. He was doing his thing in Europe. This is when like I think it's 06, 07 Toronto Raptors squad had like some players on it. It was Parker. It was, of course, Bosch growing. It was a Jose that was growing. Garbajosa, who was a man back then, like in Spain.
Jose
Like, nah, man.
trash.
But then he got hurt. If Garbajosa didn't get hurt, everyone thinks like this team would have made some more noise. Um, but yeah, shout out to Anthony Parker. He was legit one of my favorite. If I had to list like my top 10 favorite Raptors, my personal favorite Raptors, this guy's probably top five. Like,
I knew you were gonna say that. You always loved him still.
yeah, I think he's a good player,
He
man.
could really shoot. He was the one of the best pure shooters Raptors ever had, so I'm not gonna lie.
Right. And like after he left there, he went to Cleveland to play with LeBron a little bit. Like now I believe he's a GM of a squad of the
It's not
Orlando Magic.
always GM.
He's general manager. Yeah, he's the GM, full GM of Orlando Magic.
True.
That's crazy how these managers change. I haven't played in a minute on my I have 2K. I have an old 2K. I have a 2K22, I think, right? Not an old one, but I'm gonna upgrade to 2K25. I was playing just a career mode or whatever. And you know who became a coach in the career mode in like 2042? Joel Embiid.
Holy, I couldn't take him serious as a coach.
At all. He himself can take himself seriously as a coach. That'd be crazy. But yeah, any thoughts about this draft?
It's got some guys here and there that, made their impact on the league. I can't lie, but 98 was where it was at.
98. Let's go to the 98 one, which was hosted in Vancouver.
Shout out, Van City.
Hosted in Vancouver. And we had the number one overall pick be Michael Olowokandi.
Boo, bust.
Bust. He was supposed to be something, right? And like one thing I've done before is I would watch draft day videos, right? And how they talked about players
Yeah.
and how they talked about like Joe Smith. This guy's going to be an all NBA player for the future. The way they were talking about Michael Candy, this guy's the center of the future. He's going to be in the likes of Olajuwon, Shaq, da 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 da. You hear all these things, and you're like, "Oh shit, this person's going to be something," right? And then they end up not. Nothing really happens to them. Mike Bibby, number two. We both like Mike Bibby. That
We do. We
Mike
definitely
Bibby
like
is swole now, like swole.
super like Sergeant Bibby. Yeah, I seen that. It's like, yo, is he on PEDs? Well, we'll leave it at that.
Mike Bibby, let's just even look at his stats. 14 a game, 3 rebounds. But he's on one of the best teams that never won a title, those Kings teams.
Kings was so fun to watch.
One of the best teams not to win a title.
Yeah, I agree. The refs robbed them though.
Definitely. They wanted that Lakers love. Rafe LaFrance, who the name his name was too swaggy. Rafe
Too
LaFrance
swaggy, but he didn't do much.
did not. Then we get to some names. Antoine Jamison,
Shout out AJ.
who originally got drafted to Toronto Raptors.
Thank God he didn't play for us. No diss, but rather VC. He brought more buzz.
Definitely, bro. He really changed the game. Vince Carter, a guy we did a whole podcast on because he really changed everything, man. I think on that. He changed everything. Then you got Robert Tractor Trailer.
R.I.P.
Right, R.I.P. Jason Williams, White Chocolate.
That was a guy for the Kings at a time.
It was, man. It really was.
That was an entertaining squad, for real.
That squad was amazing. If you think about it, it was amazing. It would be the best team right now. in the league. Larry Hughes.
Larry Hughes wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. He was all right.
He is really just like a nice role player.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Larry Hughes, godson. I believe it's his godson.
Oh shoot, true.
His godson is Jason Tatum.
Oh shoot, true. True.
I think it's his godson. I'm pretty sure it's Larry Hughes and him. Let's see. So yeah, yeah,
Maybe played 1,000 games in the league. That's real hard to do.
really hard.
Yeah.
After Larry Hughes, it's Dirk, Big Dirk, number 9, Paul Pierce, number 10. And we'll talk about Dirk when we do our redraft because like
Which is crazy how Larry Hughes went over Paul Pierce. Which is crazy.
so
Like
when we
Dirk, I
like
could get Dirk because those times 98. But Paul Pierce? Seriously? Larry Hughes over? Okay, cool.
something I'm telling you, when you look at certain drafts and you look at mans that were picked over other manager, like what did people see?
I'm
Like
telling
what
you.
did people see? Like I think there's so much mans named before like Donovan Mitchell or like Devin Booker. You're like, what are people thinking? What are they thinking? Steph Curry, like Steph Curry will always be the most famous one because Minnesota had 2 picks and they picked Rubio, which we all like Rubio. Rubio's not a bad player. And then you pick Johnny Flynn, like it's one of those you gotta talk
You
about.
picked Rubio Johnny Flynn before Curry. Holy shit, that guy's fired now.
Paul Pierce, then Bonzi Wells was pretty good. Shouts out
Mhm.
to Keon Clark because he was like a
Yep,
skinny dude doing his thing.
he was in the
Um,
Raptors doing this thing. Shout him out.
you know the thing is, you look at some of these players, you're like, oh, these guys were Raptors. Like a lot of these guys were return Raptors.
Yeah, yeah.
Rashard Lewis, which I messed with him a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
He's our center.
I remember on the Spurs more, obviously, right?
Like he was our center twice. He left and came back. Like
Yeah,
he was our
yeah.
center twice. It wasn't a bad center. Especially because the league and centers were going. Al Harrington was a guy.
He was
Uh,
decent. He was
Shouts out
decent.
to Tyronn Lue for being 23rd overall pick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nazir Mohammed is a guy to mention. Um, I see Rashard Lewis,
Yep,
a
yep.
3-point sniper, 6'10", the
Second round pick.
one of the best players to play on 2K. Once you got his shot, he's a guy that like any game I play that you can pick a bunch of players, random players, I always pick Rashard Lewis.
Trying
6'10" to shoot the three.
yeah. This is 98,
This
99,
is 98. Imagine
2000.
him now. He'd be something.
You'd have a more of a handle now. He had a handle back in the day too. It wasn't bad.
I didn't take it in. Sean Marks is on this. He got drafted. He should still be the GM of the freaking thing. I think he's the GM of what team? Brooklyn?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? No one else. Greg Buckner? No one else. This one didn't really have a lot of the second round. Like this one had a lot more top end talent.
Yes. The 97 had more second round throughout.
Right, right. This one had more top end talent. So we would both clearly say this draft was better in every ways than the 97 draft. But I want to ask you, can one person carry a draft so much that it's better than the following or than any other draft?
Within reason. Within reason. You can't say because LeBron came out in this draft or Jordan came out in this draft or Kobe came out in this draft, this is like, yo, this is because they came out, this is you have to look at it as a whole body work. Like Tim Duncan came out in the 97 draft, but the whole body of work is a lot of role players, guys that have been in the league that were good role players too, right? It wasn't just guys who were in the league for 2 years, 3 years out. It was guys that solid players on certain squads. So you can't. I wouldn't say so. It's just you still have to look at the majority, like the real majority. Even if a draft has a face of the league, can't say because this had the face and this draft didn't. It's like okay, this draft is way better because it has a face of the league. Like was last year's draft that much nicer than let's say not this year but the next year's draft? Is it gonna be that like because of Wemby?
Yeah, yeah. I will agree. Like, I think it was, like you said, depends on the draft. Like, does Tim Duncan clear the 2000 draft with Kenyon Martin in them? Probably, because Kenyon Martin's the only one, and he's probably, if you do a redraft, if I think out of the top of my head, he may still be the number one pick.
Yeah, that draft, I think Stromae Swift was top 5 or something. Like that was
That was
not.
like third.
He was third, right?
I think so. I think he's third.
Yeah, that was not a good draft.
No, we'll probably do our another joint draft in 99. Like, there's a stretch of drafts that are just like, even though these drafts change our generation, like 96, a part of the change. 97 had Tim. Then you have Dirk, Vince, Paul Pierce. Like, so there's players that made our generation.
Hundred,
Ball
hundred.
players. But there's still that little bit of like that 99 to 2000, 01, 2002 of drafts that are not the most compelling, right? But then you get a really good one in 03.
Oh, 03, yep. Can't wait to do that one.
Then you get a nice one in 04. But 04 may be one guy carrying. Oh no, 04 has Dwight and Chris Paul. No, that's 05 has Chris Paul. Because Chris Paul is Bogut and Darren Williams. So like every draft kind of has a little bit of a mix, but it all depends on it. I wonder if I could ever go draft for draft to know who's on which draft. That would take my brain too much. But let's redraft this bad boy.
Let's get it.
So 10 draft picks for the 97-98 draft. We're going our 10. I'm pretty sure our 10 is going to be different because we're doing two drafts.
We're doing two drafts, gonna be hella different, but let's get into it. Let's start with one.
What was number one for you?
You already know. It's the number one power forward of all time in the NBA. Like, I don't want to hear people talk about this guy, that guy. Like, don't. It's this guy. The man played on the same spot for, I think, 17 or 18 years. Stop this. I didn't hear him cry about shit. No one heard him cry about shit. He wasn't cheating on his wife or doing some fuck shit in the media. Shout out to Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan is the
Came
number one
in.
overall pick. Also for me, multiple reasons why. I think he's one of the most underrated players like ever. His commitment to the Spurs, to not wanting to score a bunch of baskets when he easily could. Like, he easily could have scored more, and he chose not to. He became more of a threat on the court than he became a scorer on the court. That's why I'm also curious. Like, are they going to train Wemby to be like Tim or make him be more like a scorer? So I'm very curious how that Wemby train is going to be. Because it matters, man. If you can make your best player more of a threat, it's terrifying.
I think they are going to make him more of a threat. It's Popovich. It's the Spurs system. Like, yeah, when it comes to bigs that they draft, they kind of have a good record with him.
Yeah. So Timothy is the best. I think he's one of the best of the generation alone, that whole 96 on generation, one of the best. I know a lot of people always try to go Kobe or Tim, Kobe or Tim. Ultimately, it's all about what you view. If I talk just pure, the guy who I picked first between Kobe and Tim Duncan, I'm picking Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm talking as a businessman who wants like fans in the seat,
Mm-hmm.
it's Kobe by a mile. Heck, Vince Carter before maybe Tim Duncan. If you're talking about
You're
fans in
talking
the
about
seat,
just fans, but if you're talking about winning, I want this player here for 10 plus years, build around commitment. I'm not saying Kobe, Vince wasn't committed, but you know, Tim, there was no fuck shit with Tim in the media or little Kobe. There was like a 1-2, right? Like, demand a trade, da da da. We didn't hear that with Tim,
right? Tim was
right?
going to go to Orlando, but he was a free agent, right? And that didn't happen.
So thank God it didn't. But I'm assuming that's your number one pick too.
Oh yeah, Tim Duncan's my number one pick for sure.
Shout out.
No question. Yeah, I think he's one of the most underrated guys in the league. I like Tim Duncan a lot. I like fundamental basketball. Like, I like playing the right way to win the game.
Honey.
And don't really like ISO too much. And yeah, his definition of no ISO. Who's your number two? I think our number two I think it's the same, but what's yours?
Number two, you already know this player, another long time one team player. You know what I mean? Changed the face of the league with how he played at a center, at a 7-footer. Disco Dirk. You already know what it is, man. You already know.
Dirk, yeah, see, he played power forward, but he also played center because he was tall as shit.
You're
So people
7-footer.
didn't know like how tall he was, but his game, when you look at guys like a Kevin Durant, honestly, if you look at any scoring power forward, like scoring power forward, it's Dirk. It's Dirk and like it's all Dirk, right? And Dirk is so good that the man played, or Dirk lasted so long in the league. He played with three all Hall of Fame point guards.
Oh,
One in Steve Nash in the beginning,
kid.
Jason Kidd, and Luka fucking Doncic.
Yeah, he really played with three. Holy,
Because he really played with Luka. If you think about it, the man really played with Luka.
holy.
Like
That
Luka's
generation's like you talk about Steve Nash and Luca. Those are that's a generation apart.
the man played with Jason Kidd, then played with Luka, and Jason Kidd is Luka's coach. And Dirk played like
I'm really taking that in.
right. So Dirk, and I think we run around for certain other championships, like when Kareem and Oscar won their first,
Mhm.
when Magic won his first, Bird, blah blah blah. We weren't there, right? But we were there for Dirk winning his first. We can all say that's one of the hardest titles to win of all time.
That was to me. That was to me top in my time. To me, that was one of the top three hardest to win. The
Yeah,
teams
yeah. Our
they had to
time,
go through,
I agree.
the teams they had to go through on that way. It was like all 54-win teams or something like that, and then you had to go against the Miami Heat team with their big three that was just terrorizing. So
Yeah, Dirk was. I think they beat. I know they beat the Lakers, and I know they beat
the
OKC.
OKC,
And
a
they beat
young
OKC.
OKC team that was balling because they went to
Right.
the finals the next year
Yeah. So they beat those two teams, and then and like you said, man, beat the big three. Beat
in
the
the
big three.
finals. And like the West has always been a hard conference to get out of. If you get out the West, come on, every team is winning 50 games. So
Yeah.
is that your number two or
Yeah,
you
Dirk is my number two for sure.
so
For sure. For sure. I think we were always going to agree on the one and two because just the two best players.
just makes
Um, the next one, I think we may have some differences. Who's your next?
the next one, like it shouldn't be, but it could be. But
I
I'm
think
I'm
we
gonna
agree
go
there.
with Mr. You got the squad in the back.
That's my number three as well. That's my number
You
three.
already know, man. You already know. Pierce was that guy.
Yeah.
Before those guys came over, he really was that guy.
Yeah. And like you said, we don't want it to be. Like if we could choose, we wouldn't choose Paul Pierce. But we have to respect game.
We have to respect Gibbs still. He was that. He was the guy in Beantown. He was the guy. Okay, okay.
Won a title. And winning a
Okay.
title means a lot. So
I
uh,
want to know if we're gonna be on the same page with number four. I really want to know,
I think
but
number four, I think our first four should be is probably the same now.
I don't know because I just went. I went T Mac.
Oh, I did not go T Mac at all. Oh
Wow.
no, no, no. I went Vince. I went his cousin.
You see, that's
Because
yeah.
I had to
It
think
was
of
between them for that spot.
I had to think of like legacy as well and what the person did for the league, and what Vince did for us. And like Tracy was good and at his peak, the man was a two-time scoring champion. Like he has the accolades. But Vince has been in the league for like 20 plus 21 years.
Right?
He just had a lot. And if I had to think of now I'm thinking if I had to choose a career, whose career I'd rather Vince. But why'd you pick Tracy?
The thing with Tracy is Tracy was overall in his prime, quarter VC's prime, a better player,
Yeah.
a better scorer, more length, better jumper, whatever. But the thing is, why I picked T Mac fourth is I'm picking him on what could have been if he wasn't injured that much, if he didn't have the back spasms, right? Because I know if he didn't have the back spasms, he would be playing another 7 years in the league, and who knows what. You know what I mean? So I'm picking more off of the potential of him not being injured. Just like if I were to do like a 80 or 77 draft and I pick Bird, even though Bird won rings, so you can't compare him to T-Mac like that, but still Bird had, so that's why I wanted T-Mac still. He had a smooth game. Career because of injuries, but I want T-Mac.
Yeah, he did have a few. I didn't. He's not on my list just yet, but I see why. It makes sense. Vince, like I said, Vince's career, his what he did for Canada, Team Canada is where they are because parents saw what Vince Carter did and was like, I want this for my kid. Mind you, they're Shea and them aren't the generation of Vince. It's Wiggins and Tristan Thompson and Corey Joseph are the era of Vince at his prime. That's
Yeah,
the same age as us, same age as them. So they're the but then still that coming up of the NBA ball. But right now, I'm not too sure who's coming up in Canada ball. Like I don't know. I think Canada
yeah,
Ball after Shea and Jamal, like Matherin and Sharp will still do their thing, and you'll still get like little random guys coming up. But that flock of guys that we just had, like we have a flock of Canadian players. So it
yeah.
all starts with the whole Vince Carter effect. Now I think give us like another 10 years, we'll have another flock because that's going to be the Kawhi Leonard effect, right? Because it's just guys that are gonna to to meet, right? That's like Wemby and them are all the Tony Parker effect. That's just another side note. It's like Dirk it's Franz Wagner and them are the Dirk effect because it's always like 10, 11 years, 12 years. Then you'll see the impact of what everyone was doing, right? So does Dirk won a title when 2011?
2011, 2012 season, I believe. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. 2010, 2011. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so this is Germany's watching this guy and going like, okay, let's get some players involved. All of a sudden you see an older guy named Mo. What's your last name? Wagner. Okay, cool. Oh, I have a little brother too. We'll bring that nigga on too then. Right. So it's and then like Tony Parker just said France look at France. Renaissance. Tony just retired like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
And look at France's squad now.
Right. So yeah, that's what I picked. So who is your number? Is your number five Vince then?
Number 5 is VC, man.
I went I went Chauncey Billups for number five.
Okay, that's a good pick. That's
And
a,
of course, the reason I went Chauncey is because he has the ring. He has one of the best like nicknames.
big
Um,
shot.
Big shot, Mr. Big Shot. So like I gave it to Chauncey. He's respected and like his career, like you had mentioned earlier, that beginning of his career wasn't great. But then he started and played like when I look at guys like him, that's what makes me think of Kyle Lowry. Like didn't start off great, became something.
Yep, yep. Shout
Um,
out to Lowry. Yep.
right now, like Jalen Brunson, didn't start off, got a big contract, became an NBA All-Star. This stuff happens, and like that's why I really like Chauncey Billups as a whole. That Detroit Pistons teams ultimately did not have a star on it. Like didn't have a star on it at all,
They
but
got it done.
they still definitely got it. And they beat one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, those Lakers when they had Gary Payton and Malone and all them boys.
Best teams. Billups is a five-time All-Star, All NBA second team, All NBA third team, two-time Defensive Player of the Year. Averaged 15 points a game.
Phillips was a guy. Don't get it twisted.
I think the average of 50 points a game with the thought process that the man like didn't start off his career well. Like his mid part of his career wasn't great, but he just kept averaging great points. But yeah, yeah, good. That's really good on him overall. Um,
That's
that
just
was my five. You said VC was your five, right?
BC was my 5. My 6 is Billups.
See, my six is Tracy. So I think we got the six that are ultimately the best.
You got the 6.
So let's go straight because you said a lot about Tracy. I agree with most things you said. Um, Now number seven. Who's your number seven?
Number 7 is Rashard Lewis.
Me and you have like the same list.
Holy shit, this is wild, huh?
Why is Rashad your number seven?
Come on, man. You said it, man. The man was a big like a big shooter, 6'10". This is in '98.
Like you, okay. So we
There
already
was
go
no
into it.
6'10" guys shooting like it was Dirk and him. Really, the only 6'10" guys, 7 foot guys shooting threes like that. Who else was doing that in '99?
Crazy. He helped Dwight Howard in whatever go to the I think '09 maybe.
Finals, I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah, NBA Finals. Him, Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson.
that was a squad. I'm
That
not gonna
was a
lie.
squad. If you
Jameer
think about
Nelson,
it.
Turkoglu, Dwight,
Michael Petrus.
Petrus was on the squad too.
Yeah,
A defender, like they had a squad
that was a
top
good
to bottom.
squad. But then I ask, who is like, is there any NBA player right now that reminds you of Rashard Lewis? And then also the two-parter. What would a Rashard Lewis do right now in this NBA?
Oh, this guy would kill. Are you serious? They'd have him at the 5 in this NBA. He'd be playing the 5.
I think like closing lineup five.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Like a death lineup, closing lineup, he's playing the 5.
Crazy.
Because that's just,
Crazy.
and he'd have a better handle. I don't know who to compare him to right now. Just maybe honestly, I don't know. Because Bam is not like a shooter like that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna compare him
Rashad
to
wasn't
that.
a defender like that. You're
Yeah,
right. There's like probably no one 6'10", because like the person that
that's
his
that's
mind
just a scoring mentality. Like I can dribble, pull up from three, 6'10" in the league right now.
see the person I'm thinking of, it's not the case, but like a shorter Clay Thompson to me, I always think.
Yeah, but yeah, Klitsch, I'm 6'10".
Right, Rashad's
I
six
don't know
ten.
who I would say. That's honestly
Yeah, 6'10" is hard. Like, okay, I say his name, but this is probably too of a high
was
skill.
it Lori Marketing? I don't know.
Way better. No, you got it. That's right. I was gonna say Carlton Towns, but that was too high skilled.
Yeah,
Lori Marketing is perfect.
yeah, mate, yeah.
Perfect.
Because doesn't
Perfect.
really dribble, but he can dribble enough to get to a spot
That's
to
fucking perfect. That's fucking perfect.
kind of.
Perfect. Yeah. Because a guy who can score, shoot the three, he's not your number one guy. But damn if he's your number two, number three.
Yeah, he's a guy though. He's a guy.
He's like, yeah, people don't know Rashard Lewis was a guy like his oh man, that man's ability to shoot the three at a clip. I want to check his percentage.
And he was on Seattle when Seattle had a squad. Like it was
Oh yeah, he's the original Ray Allen guy. Oh my goodness. Oh, think about this. Those guys could have been like the Splash Brothers, bro. They could have been the real.
real. Yep, yep.
That's crazy. That is, he averaged 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. He's a two-time All-Star. He's an NBA champion.
What do you win champion? What do you
Oh, he
win?
won a champion with Miami. Did I not? Did we not know that?
Oh shit, the Wade year?
No, the like LeBron Wade time.
Oh shit, he
2013.
was. Wow, I didn't even.
Well,
He
I
does
didn't.
have over
I wonder,
1,000 games played, so it's crazy.
I wonder how much he played in that.
Shit, yeah, he only played 9 games for them.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot of games. Well, he started 9 games. He played 55.
Oh, there, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. Yeah,
He averaged 5 points. So well, then let's go playoffs. Playoffs.
who's
He,
Mr.
he played
Seattle?
11. Oh, see that he played 4 minutes. He played 4 minutes. So he was on the road to retiring.
He
That's
had 10 seasons with Seattle. Yeah, man.
his career 3-point average is 38%.
Yeah, that's lights up.
That's come on, 38%?
That's
That
like,
means you can't leave him open.
and there was times he was taken in Seattle, and this is 04, 05, 6 attempts a game. Wow. That's unheard of, a 6'10", 04, 05 taking 6 attempts.
For those listening, the reason why we're gushing over Rashad Lewis, because we know ball. And we know if Rashard Lewis, if a 24-year-old Rashard Lewis just dropped in the NBA right now, teams would be throwing the bag for him.
Honored.
The bag. You name any team, there's no team in the league that wouldn't want a 6'10" absolute shooter.
Sharpshooter, yep.
In this league,
Yep.
Every team would want him. Every team. You literally said Laurie Markkinen is a perfect name to pick. Laurie Markkinen, easily. Okay, let's go on before we keep gushing over Rashard Lewis because like it sounds like he's low key our favorite player on this fucking squad. But
Yep.
he was that nice, man. He was that nice. Who's your number 8?
My number 8 was AJ, Antoine Jameson.
Bro, it's like me and you have it was like we wrote it together.
Stop this. You have him?
Yeah, I will make still.
Yeah,
Anyway, I think he was a solid number like 3 guy. I think
definitely.
the Cavs when they traded for him, they were because the narrative was like who can be LeBron's Pippen? Who could be
Yeah.
they gave what Mo Williams the number 2 guy. He wasn't really that type of guy. They gave it to Jamison. Big Z was a guy that people mentioned.
Oh, true.
So it's all those guys that they had said, but yeah. But Anthony Davis was a good player. He was. He was. Any like highlights for you for Antoine Jameson?
Uh, Jameson. Jameson. He was a bang. He was solid. He was solid. So a long career. Longevity there, consistent. So
That's what it comes down to with him. He's the most consistent. Like he's like an even keel guy. Like you're not mad that I think he's one of those guys. I think he was the one of the first ones I ever claimed. Him and like Jeff Green. Jeff Green's a real one. He's one of those wing guys that
yes,
you're
yes,
like, could you do more? Like I want you to do more type, but that's just they weren't that type of player. But you wanted more. You definitely wanted more from them. Because you believe that they can be like something. Who is your number
9.
9?
If we're really getting the same, I got Bibby.
So, Baby was my original number 9. So we would have almost had the same identical list. But a guy that remember I was telling you, a guy that I like realized. So on a quick note, Anton Jameson averaged 18 points a game,
Yeah.
7.5 rebounds. So he averaged 18.5. So you want to round up 19, 7.5, want to round up 8, and close to 2 assists a game. He averaged pretty well.
Solid. He was solid.
See, it's like, yo, when you hear people's career stats, you're like, that means at one point you were just getting buckets.
Yeah, Antoine was a guy. He was a guy.
Yeah, he did average a lot of 20 points a game. A lot of 20 points a game. Then, of course, he went to the Lakers, then all things fell down. Going to LA is a death trap.
Definitely.
It's
Pressure.
a death trap, man. Yeah, my number 9, because I saw his name late, Steven Jackson.
Okay. 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 That was good.
I forgot about him, and one of those players that literally on the PSP, right? When I used to make my own Toronto Raptors lineup,
Yeah.
Rashard Lewis and Steven Jackson were my wings. Because Steven Jackson in the PSP, I think it was 2K or like NBA Live, man can get any bucket, any bucket. And he's always like one thing I love about talking ball with you is I could just talk about my past a little bit. Steven Jackson to me, when I think about prototypical small forwards, he's my definition. Him, Corey Maggette, and there's a next man. But like
Guys that just gut to the rim can hit the midi.
right, like those are and I mean at that version, the small forward now is more of a Kawhi. But like at that time when your number 2, when your shooting guard was a Michael Jordan, and you needed a number 3, this is what I always thought of. I always
And I
thought,
like those type of threes as opposed to now. Those guys
yeah,
that they're just slash and drive to the lane guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was like my perfect type of player. Like this guy can get 17, 18 points a game, give you
Yeah,
6 rebounds. He
yeah.
just had a little bit too much attitude.
I was gonna say that next. He has attitude, but it's the nigga in him. It's the nigga in him.
Legit. If he didn't have that,
Him being dark skinned too, right? Shit.
it'd be different. It'd be different. You picked Bibby. Why so?
Shout out to Michael, baby. Shout out to Arizona. First and foremost, yo, Bibby was a guy. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted. He was a guy. He played over 1,000 games in the league, right? He was a steady shooter, good point guard. He was a good one guard, like a starting guard, So Bibby had a good career
He did.
overall. So shouts out to Bibby.
Bibby, he averaged 15 points a game, 3 rebounds, and let's see, 5.5 assists. Legit 5.5. Have a really good squad. He was a good player. He was my number 10. He was my
He's your
number
10?
10. Yeah.
Shout out to Bibby.
Who's your 10?
My shout out to he played over there in Houston, and it wasn't Steve Francis he was playing. It wasn't Steve Francis, it was Catino Mobley. Shout out to Catino Mobley. Mr. Second round, 42nd pick. Let's get it.
He was my like if we went when I originally was doing the 98 one, he was my it would have been my 11th pick. I picked Brad Miller because Brad Miller somehow made it to an all-star team.
Brad Miller I missed him, but yeah, I wouldn't have picked him anyways.
Brad
But
Miller
Brad
was
Miller,
he was a guy.
he was on the Bulls doing his thing for a little bit.
And once again, another player on Sacramento somehow.
Yeah, he was on Sacramento doing his thing, and they were good when he was on the squad.
Yeah, but Coutinho Mobley, Coutinho Mobley's he's a good player. A nice he was definitely
He was a nice little Robin still.
he
On a
was
title team, he would have been a third, but to have a third like that, remember, I think he averaged like 16 points for his career. You know what I mean? So he was doing his thing.
was he a second round pick?
He was, I think,
was.
42.
Yeah, he was average 16 points a game. I
Yeah.
don't think he played in the league long, right?
I don't know. He played decent amount of
He played
years.
10 years.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So and then he's most likely injuries probably stopped it. Um
Remember,
yeah, a lot of injury.
and I'm wondering how much guys, and we're not going to do this now, but how much guys that played in the second round that was 42nd, 40 pick and beneath have played 10 years plus in the league.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to look at it like that too, just like guys that are undrafted. Like you see a guy go in the league undrafted, he's there for 5 years. It's like to other mans, it's not really success in the league, but you're undrafted, it's a big success.
No, agreed.
So
Just want to say a quick shout out to like a Hal Harrington because he was
yeah,
drafted 98.
yeah.
Then you had people, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, like we had mentioned.
Yeah, that's honorable mention for me, Jay Will.
Right. Ricky
Harrington,
Davis.
Ricky Davis.
He
He was kind of
something.
shaky, but I was rocking with him.
Yeah, I think he had a really good like year. I think he had 1 year that was really good. So shout out to Ricky Davis. But that was our draft. That was 97 and 98. We'll give the 99, 9, and 2000. We'll probably do both next week. Also, I'm pretty sure the finals of the Olympic game is I think it's Sunday.
Sunday, that's perfect.
I want to say it's Sunday. Let's see. Semi. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be semis is the 8th. Finals is Saturday. Finals is Saturday. The bronze medal is at 5 a.m., which is crazy. And then the gold medal is at 3:30 p.m. That's a time difference. 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Petty, yeah, that's like you go that side of the world to travel. Like you gotta 1 day to travel, you gotta write that off because
Yeah.
it's like it's a cancel.
Well, I'm hoping Canada's on at that 3:30 p.m. game on Saturday. That'll be a hell of fun. Anything you want to talk about before we go?
No, man, we covered everything, that we needed to cover still. Can't lie.
Bless. Okay, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Name your draft picks as well for 97, 98. Like I said, 99, 2000 will be next week as we're going to continue doing this redraft. That, YS said, let's do these redrafts. I'm like, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah,
We'll probably do some retro ones back in the day in the future, but the NBA season is also coming up sooner than we will. It's going to pop out of nowhere because August is really the more dead month. September is going to hit, and all of a sudden it's not free agency, training camp, and then we go from there. We'll see. But like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you again. Peace.